Hey, what's up everybody? It's your man Roball back again for another video. So, for anybody that has questions about NRPG and the NRPG story mode or Shinobi story, I'll do some little answering at the end of the video, but yeah, let's get to the video with the whole World Zero and my concerns for the game. This is a video about why I'm worried about the game. Now, I know the game's going to do well in general. I know it's going to do well in terms of player count. I know it's going to do well in terms of updates, consistency, and I know it's going to do well in terms of quality and looks in gameplay. But that's not what I'm worried about. What I'm worried about mainly is going to be how different is it from Swordburst 2, from Swordburst 1, from Shard Online. Is it just going to be a reskin of those games, like with, different character models, or is it going to be a new game with similar concepts to the previous game, but it evolves from it instead of just, feeling the exact same with just a different look? Or is it gonna feel the same with more to it, but it feels natural with how they evolved it? Like, you'll know what I mean when I start describing it later on in this video, but that's my main concern. I'm hoping the game does well. I'm not trying to pray failure on any game, but I'm just saying that I'm hoping the game really does learn from Swordburst 2's faults. I think Swordburst 2 had some faults. Like Swordburst 2, in the beginning, it was a very fun game, but then it got repetitive. It just felt like grinding, only grinding, not crafting, just grinding. Just grinding mobs, grinding levels, getting to the next floor due to your levels, and so on. But I'm hoping World Zero, learns from those, not errors, but those discrepancies from the previous game that players mostly likely complained about. I know a lot of players did not like how they only could level. They didn't really craft much. There wasn't really any point to crafting in the game. But let's go ahead and head on to the World Zero Twitter, because I want to show off some of the stuff they have on their Twitter for the viewers. Now, the Twitter will be linked down below, by the way, just so you guys can check it out if you want to. So, the World Zero Twitter. The first thing we're going to do is, if you want to follow them, they're right there. Here you go. I'm also going to link it in the description, and I'm going to scroll all the way down to their very first tweet. The very first tweet was, of course, this thing. We pointed it out in the last video on World Zero. You'll see a little card pop up on the top right corner. The only thing we really mentioned was the background and the characters and the models and everything. But if you look over here, this was the updated version of it that I posted in that video as well, in terms of the player's hands wrapping around the weapon. But also note the armor that the player is wearing. This armor, we're going to describe it later on in the video, but just remember what this armor looks like. This armor kind of reminds me of some Shogun armor, some makeshift Shogun modern day armor. Now if you look here, I don't know if I put this in the last video, but you can see a lot of things in this. You can see a lot of things. You can see there's a clasp, there's dual wielder. So what else is there going to be? Well, clearly these are all dual wielders, so they're not really showing us everything. And in every single post, you only see dual wielders. You don't see anything else. You literally just see dual wielding. You don't see anything else. So they're trying to keep that from us. Clearly, they're trying to make us wonder what's going to happen. I think another class is going to be, of course, two-handed weapons. We have dual wielding, we have two-handed weapons, and maybe a third class being, short-handed weapons or some speed-built class. I don't know if they're going to do any ranged weapons like bows and arrows, but we'll see what happens with that. I seriously think the two most likely classes they're going to have, of course, is dual wielding and two-handed weapons. That's the most common thing from Swordburst, so we'll see what they do with that. I think they could also add one-handed weapons like swords that are just one-handed, and then the shield on the other arm. That way the player, could have a little more defense. But that's just, what they decide on. Now, the beach is where new players start their adventures, what they posted here. If you click on the image, we can see some things in this. We can see a bridge at the top. The bridge probably means there's going to be a building, probably some sort of castle up there. I think there was a castle image somewhere in another tweet. Let's see. I don't know. Somewhere in another tweet, a background, they have a castle. It's something like this. It's smaller, though. I don't remember where it was, but I remember seeing it somewhere. I don't know, whatever. But anyways, we can see that there's three types of mobs here. We can see that there's the blue crab, there's the red crab, and then the green crab. Each of these seems to have a different physical feature, but they're kind of having the same materials of cobblestone on top of slate and sand on the antennae. Antennas. But anyways, these are probably going to be called horned crabs or something like that, or horned sea crabs. I don't know what they're going to be called, to be honest. I'm assuming that, but I think it'll be a pretty cool name. But we can see that there's a lot of detail put into it. And notice how that one has trees on top of it. This one has rocks on top of it. And this one has spikes on top of it. You can clearly see the differences. There really isn't much else to these mobs that I'm noticing. I don't think they'll have any special attacks because they look like they're just going to be simple mobs. but I don't know, to be honest. But also something you want to note is where my mouse is. There's something right there. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just the background, like my eyes playing tricks on me, but it looks like there's going to be something special there, or something that's glowing, or something that just, you know, is a different color than the rest right there. And I don't know what it is. But anyways, on to the next thing. If we look at them dealing with goblins, this was the first thing that sparked my interest and concern for the game. The first thing that sparked my interest was the fact that there are different sword skills compared to Swordburst 2. Swordburst 2 had like some sort of skill like this. It kind of did. That's why I kind of think it's a little bit of a reskin. But you can see that these mobs have animations. And these mobs do take a one-hit KO damage or one combo KO damage from these. Clearly they're probably goblins or imps, but they look really cool. I'm digging the design for the mobs, how they have different materials, different textures applied to them, different colors as well. They're not just one solid color like in Swordburst 2. Like if you saw in the previous footage I was fighting the crocodiles, they were literally like 3 colors only, 4 colors only. There wasn't much to them. But these you can see like a little bit different greens, a different brown, different gray and everything. They have even like little chains or earrings on them that are like gold and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. And I kind of think this is inspired by Goblin Slayer. I understand if I'm, you know, reaching a bit far. This reminds me of the house from Goblin Slayer. This reminds me of the farm that he tends to. You can see little haystacks over there, and there's goblins, so, I mean, what doesn't it remind you of? And then you can see here, a stronger goblin boss. This is why, I'm gonna mute the music, I don't wanna get copyrighted. This is why it reminds me of Goblin Slayer. You can see that there's an MP bar, HP bar, but this looks like a giant goblin, like a larger version of a goblin. Why is my internet being weird? Oh my god. A larger version of a goblin too. So it's kind of funny to look at, but it does remind me of Goblin Slayer quite a bit, because then you can see a bigger house. You can see kind of the water testing there. And there's another mob right over there. If you didn't notice it, guys, there was another mob to the right. It's a pink mob. I think that's some sort of dragon or wyvern or something like that. I don't know what it is exactly. That might be a player's mount. Maybe there's mounts in this game. That might be a player, that might just be a player on the floor. I don't know. But that does look like there is a mob over there. So if you look behind the hobgoblin looking thing, you can see a white set of armor, like a white dummy or something like that, or a gray dummy, and then like a naked NPC or something like that. If you look at it, it looks like maybe like a knight set of armor. I don't know if there's going to be helmets in the game, but there was head armor or like hats or something like that. So maybe there's like a helmet. I don't know. Maybe they could do that. But my Wi-Fi died. That's why I didn't get really better footage, but this is what I got so far. And let's go ahead and continue the next thing. Customization. The hair looks amazing. I love the textures. I'm not going to spend too much time on this because you can just follow them on Twitter and see what they're posting. This looks beautiful. I like how they have the facial designs right here as well on the models to, you know, make it with it. It's hard to explain. But here's the customization again in depth. You can see that there's a hair option, the eyes option, the face option, or the mouth option, and then your size option, scaling between these two sizes in between, which is pretty cool. And I think there's also the acceptance of player, but I think there's going to be an option for your weapons and armor within the character creation, maybe the color of your armor. And then we also have the player fighting, oh, wrong one, player fighting the goblin boss, I would say, or maybe like the hobgoblin. I don't know what it's going to be called, but you can see them fighting the hobgoblin and getting bodied by it. But within that attack, you can see the fire. There's the normal fire attack, or the special fire attack, the grab move where they're trying to grab the player, and then the slam attack. So we got the lunge, so that's like a piercing damage with fire. The grab, so that's probably going to be trying to slap the player away. And then we got that, the slam. And that's probably going to be a stun right there, or maybe like a one-hit KO move if it's strong. And then over here you can see, look at some armor sets. Notice how I mentioned the armor in the beginning. The armor in the beginning does not look like any of these. They all look different. There's a brown armor, green armor, the starter armor, I guess. But you can see the armor looks like Legend of Zelda, looks like Rimuru. This one looks like a character from an anime. I don't remember what it's from. The one that's number 5. The red one, I don't remember what this is from. It kind of reminds me of Alice in Wonderland. The 7 one reminds me of, I don't remember what it was. I forgot. And the 8th one reminds me of a lot of like TV show characters in like medieval worlds. Also, this is what I thought the bridge reminded me of. The bridge reminded me of this building right here. The building on each of the backgrounds on this. I just think maybe the bridge leads to that, or maybe it leads to like another part of the island. I don't know exactly. I think it's going to be like a blue castle though. And then you can see the inventory system is right here. Viewport frames. If you don't know what viewport frames are, guys, viewport frames are basically putting items inside of a frame of a GUI. Look at this, greatsword. You see, it's confirmed. 2-handed weapons right there. Greatsword. Greatswords are larger blades, so clearly they're not the same as this. You can see the blade is different here compared to this one. This looks probably like a, what is this going to be called? I think they put their mouse on it. This is called I think it's probably a broadsword or an iron sword. I don't know. King's Juice is probably the healing item. Yeah, oh, King's Juice heals and puts mana. And then the healing item is the red potion. And so the small HP potion, King's Juice. Okay, I see. So we'll be able to equip 2 hats, an aura, something on our back, and then a costume. Costume's probably like some event thing or Christmas event thing, you know, something like that. I think we don't see the rest of the armor. But Viewport Frame's looking pretty nice. And this is the final thing that they posted on Twitter. The final thing they posted on Twitter is the player slashing and using different animations. So I think the clicking is just, you know, them clicking, but there's 2 different skills equipped right here. Equipping your weapon is a skill, or on your toolbar. But you can see right here, the clicking is one of the skills, then the E skill is the lunge and piercing, and the R skill is the spinning skill. Then we got the health and the mana potion. We got a boost right here. That's probably for EXP or the boost. Yeah, the boost is probably for EXP because you can see it's right next to the EXP level. Health is right here, so you start out with really low HP, I guess. That might be a test though. I don't think the HP is going to be that low because the King's Potion gave you 1000 HP, so I don't think this is the starter HP. We got 100 mana max, but so far the game's looking nice, although my main concerns are, of course, the animations. Not really animations, but mainly the feeling of the animations compared to Swordburst 2. I feel like it looks a little bit different compared to Swordburst 2, and it looks better and more smooth, of course. It's just that Swordburst 2 had a lot of issues, in my opinion, with that stuff. And I'll show you guys what I mean in Swordburst 2 right now. In Swordburst 2, you can see the animations right here. The animations are pretty basic. They're very similar to the one that I just showed you in the GIF. But there really is a lot of differences that you can notice. Like, it feels different when I'm slashing right here because my player is turning if I wanted to. But in the other game, it looks a lot more smooth, at least in my view it does. I don't know about you guys, but to me it looks more smooth as an animator myself. It does look a lot more smooth and a lot better to look at, a lot more visually pleasing. And I'm hoping that it is better in terms of the gameplay, like it actually lands hits in terms of hitboxes. So hopefully the hitboxes are a little bit better than in Swordburst 2. Swordburst 2 hitboxes were cheese in my opinion. I think a lot of the bosses had hitboxes that were cheese. And my main concern is that, you know, mobs don't have animations, because you could see that was one of my main concerns before they posted stuff on Twitter. You could see that the goblins and like the hobgoblin boss looking thing all had animations, but hopefully other mobs do have animations as well, but we'll see what they do with that. Another thing I want to note is that they aim to release the alpha for this game, so testing for us, in the end of March, and the end of March is approaching. It's already March 20th at the time that I'm recording this video. So the game looks like it might be releasing sometime in the near future. We'll see what happens with the testing though. I'm really excited for the game. Another thing about the NRPG story mode, guys, if you want to get in the Discord chat for that, link is down below. That's where we'll be doing our giveaways and everything. So if you want to get in through a fair method, join that Discord chat. You'll find out everything else you need to know there. I'll link the Twitter here down below in the description. Till then, it's been your man Roball. I'm signing out now. See you all in the next video. Take care, everybody.